Parsonsfield is live. Sorry for the delay in our workshop. We had other things that came up, and I'm the only select board member here. Danielle is here as well, and one member of the public is here. So we're just going to go through our town warrant and talk about some of the articles that we're reworking. So I'm going to get out of this.
So as far as Article 10, it seems very heavy with a mixed bag of kind of different expenses. So what we wanted to do is itemize it a little clearer, like Article 10, general governmental expenses, and just include assessing, legal fees, audit, planning board, ZBA. Then do a separate article for basically your employee expenses and benefits. Main PERS, medical insurance, dental, payroll taxes, unemployment, workers' comp. Because that's basically employee expense related.
Okay.
If you can think of a different, title for it, fine. But then your admin expenses, general admin expenses, which is really office supplies and a bunch of different other things. Computer, we retitled information technology expenses and unanticipated. Boom, done. Then your town building expenses, and I started to, I think that's the last one I finished. Utilities, I didn't finish that one because that's just a copy.
Okay.
So that's where I stopped. But basically that's what we wanted to do. We kind of went through and gave each one a letter on how to group them a little bit better.
Okay.
So have your utilities in its same article. Protection expenses like streetlights, fire hydrants, fire department, dispatch. Have that animal control.
Yes.
Have that.
Because this is all... So this is pretty much the same though, right? No,
yeah.
No, workers' compensation.
I took out workers' comp.
Okay.
Workers' comp was in protection for some reason.
Yeah, I get it.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So I can finish that and send it to you, the three of you.
Right. When you say we wanted to do this, is that...
I worked with Bill Hall on it.
Oh, okay. Unanticipated. Under administrative expenses. Is that...
It was under general governmental expenses.
Okay. And I guess the reason is, say that we have another flood.
Yeah.
And we use some of unanticipated. Would we consider that an administrative expense?
We can move it up to here under general government.
I think that's where that should go.
That's fine. Yep.
Just that.
Yep.
That's the only one I can think of that might really need to be moved.
Okay.
Yeah. But I like this.
Information technology.
You have the same
This is
one?
a copy because I've been working with them. So
Okay.
just don't even.
Okay, we're not going to look
Yep.
at that. All right.
I'm almost done.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay.
That sounds good. Let me pull up their email as well for me, for Maine Municipal, because she was totally confused, MMA's attorney, by Article 3.
Say that again, Jen.
Hmm?
Can you say that again? I'm sorry.
So Article 3, the way it's written now, the attorney was confused. Let me pull up her email.
I think I can get my email.
And what you sent to me today, or to us today, can find her response in that. I don't understand Article 3. Does this mean that all the money the town receives from revenues goes into a general revenue account and the select board has unlimited discretion to use that money for anything? It's not that the article is not valid, but they suggest it be more specific, and that's Article 3.
This is where, this is one which I discussed with Bill Hall. He said add kind of like an up to amount. Like your Article 4 says to authorize the select board to use up to 50% of unappropriated surplus. You could do the same for Article 3, vote to authorize the select board to use up to a certain percentage of the revenue. So you're not gonna use all your revenue, or I can't remember what the percent was last year, or.
Right, well, I think it was written exactly the same way. I should be able to make notes on the side of this, right?
But as far as the tax commitment, what percentage of our revenues do we use to reduce the tax commitment?
Well, it says, okay, she's jumping around here. If the board wants to use some revenues or some unappropriated surplus to reduce the tax commitment, there does need to be a warrant appropriating that money to that purpose. In Article 4, it intends to do that, but it doesn't have a specific number to plug in so that the assessors can use it for mill rate.
We don't have to have a number. It can be up to a certain percent.
Which is what we did last year, you and I, when we went through it. You might want to talk to your auditor, though, because 50% of the town's unappropriated surplus balance sounds like a lot and might leave you without a cushion in the event of an unexpected expense. Our issue is that we never know what that unappropriated surplus balance is until we hear from the auditor, right?
No, we don't know what that is.
We don't know what it is.
No.
So if you want to think about wording the Article 4 differently, you can see if the town will vote to appropriate X amount of dollars from either revenue or unappropriated surplus to be used to lower the 2026 tax commitment. But since we don't have an amount, I don't see how we can put a specific amount in for unappropriated surplus balance. Personally, we've never used 50%, right? We didn't last year. I think maybe we used like 28%. We played with a few different numbers.
We can see what we did last year. Trying to find the email.
So her suggestion is to use a specific amount, but I don't think that's possible.
We can leave it as is and say 50%.
We can. You might want to. Yeah, we can say, or
there's nothing wrong with it.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Right.
If we use 20 or 30 or 10, it doesn't matter. It's under 50%.
We use scenario 3. Maximum allowable, maximum overlay, homestead, Betty reimbursements. Yeah, we could. Do you have to go?
No, I'm looking at my book. I had some notes written down.
Okay. All right. So if we leave 4 at 50%, which is what we've always done, and we never used it. So initially you had a question about having a specific article about using revenue to reduce taxes?
Plus?
Because her MMA, looking at Article 3, first of all, we'll go down the line. Article 3. Does this mean that all money the town receives goes into a general revenue account and the select board has unlimited discretion to use that money for anything?
No.
Again, I cannot say the article is not valid, but I would suggest that it be more specific. Many towns have an article that lists specific revenues and then appropriates them to a purpose. And isn't that what you wanted to do as far as, or Bill had suggested as far as taxes go, to appropriate from a reserve account or revenue account?
revenue, so I have the notes say, add some language. The town will vote to combine. Basically, to reduce the tax, you're gonna use a certain percentage of the revenues to reduce the tax commitment. So you can use your revenues and you can use the unappropriated surplus.
So you have
that
two,
was your two articles.
Right.
So, Article 3 has to be worded similar to Article 4.
so we'll combine its various non-dedicated sources of income into a general revenue account from which it will pay, it will offset its taxes by a certain amount, or?
Reduce tax commitment.
Okay, which it will reduce property taxes.
It's basically an
Does he have
article
give you-
giving you approval to use revenues to reduce tax commitment. The way that's written is not giving you that permission.
Specifically used for tax revenue.
Right.
So, to see if the town will vote to combine its various non-dedicated sources of income to reduce the 2026-27 taxes. But that's very open-ended, because it doesn't say. This Article 3, the way it's written, sounds that we can use it to pay expenses as authorized by this town meeting, meaning that everything that we're going to pay comes out of a general revenue account.
Right.
It doesn't say anything about using any of the revenue for, right. But did Bill have a suggestion on using a percentage or a number?
A percentage. He
Okay.
said that him and the town clerk kind of went back and forth on it, and he really recommends using the up to language.
Okay.
Or percent. You can't really put a number on it.
Well,
So you
really-
can do it high, do the same up to 50%. What is that? We could run a report and figure it out, and see what we use. Is it up to 20%, 30%? Or you could use none. I mean, we always do, but I mean that's giving you a lot of flexibility if you say the up to a certain percent.
Right.
And it's legal.
I think that the MMA's question is there a possibility if you said that you're going to use up to 50% of a general revenue count, that if you did use 50%, that you are expending too much out of that and you don't have enough left, since we don't have a specific number, to pay expenses as authorized by this town meeting?
I was just looking at something really quick. She didn't give any sort of recommendation.
Not for an amount. To see if the town will vote to combine its various non-dedicated sources of income into a general revenue account from which it will pay its expenses as authorized by this town meeting, and up to a certain percent to offset taxes.
I was just looking at Baldwin's, and it says, to see if the town will vote to appropriate an estimated 1.1 million from the following non-property tax revenues to reduce the tax burden. And
So-
they actually itemize each one.
And so they had a specific amount.
They had a specific amount, and they also included the undesignated fund balance amount. And that's all in an article.
So they know what their undesignated fund balance is.
They do.
Because they're up to date on
That's
their,
right.
on their audits. What about Buxton? I know that, let me take a look at Buxton. have a specific article to be used for legal services. And, wow, specific article used for preparation of the town report. Not coming across anything specific for taxes yet.
No, I don't see anything either.
Okay. Wow. They've broken out some of their, how we have general government. Some of those are each
Very
an article.
specific,
Yeah.
So we could say something like, to see if the town will vote to authorize the select board to use up to 50% of non-property tax revenues to reduce the tax. Just that percentage is, we would have to see kind of what we did the last few years.
And
percent.
did you just say 50?
I just put a figure in just to see how the language would.
Okay, I know that we did not use 50% of unappropriated, but, yeah.
It's listed as like non-property tax revenues.
So we could keep Article 3 the way it is, and then add another article to say, authorize the select board to up to a certain percent of revenues from non-property. Let me enable that.
Article 3 is just giving you the town basically permission to pay its bills.
Right.
That's all it is. And I don't even know if it's necessary.
Well, she says, I don't understand Article 3. Does this mean that all the money that gives the select board unlimited discretion to use that money? Again, I cannot say the article is not valid, but I would suggest it be more specific. Many towns have an article that lists specific revenues and then appropriates them to a purpose.
Yeah.
Like the CEO salary or running a specific program. If you can tell me more about what this account is used for and how much money goes into it. The general revenue account is what we use to pay everything.
Right, but you're figuring it out in your tax commitment. You're putting in all the expenses to come up with taxes. So you're saying kind of the same thing. If you're going to use a certain percentage of your revenues, you're going to reduce the tax commitment. That's basically saying you're paying your bills. Same language. It's just,
More specific we need. Why don't I just email them back and tell them exactly what it is we want to do with that account?
Well, yeah.
But I don't know how much money goes into it.
It's not one account. It's not one big lump sum. I mean, we've got multiple revenues.
Even though it says general revenue account.
We don't have a general revenue account. I mean, we have town revenues. We don't have one account that says, 5,400 general revenue. That's not right. So. I would recommend just wording it similar to Article 4. Article 4 allows the town to use unappropriated surplus. Article 3 will give the town authorization to reduce the tax commitment using revenues. So one's for revenues, one's for
One's revenue and one's unappropriated surplus
Right.
balance, right? But then don't we need an article? Maybe we don't. I'll email
You're
them.
doing it the same thing.
Right.
I mean, all the expenses that totaled up to total taxes, and then we take out a bunch of things to try to reduce taxes. So it's ultimately doing the same exact thing.
Yeah, I think
And-
I can email and get a little more understanding of what.
You know, I've got notes that says, need to clarify Article 3. Bill's saying you need an article to use revenues to reduce the tax commitment. And I got it from when we met with O'Donnell's, we made a note, you need to add language to reduce the tax commitment in Article 3. So that's basically, they're just using different words. Paying your expenses and reducing the tax commitment is basically the same thing. So,
It is basically the same thing. Why do we need to?
because you're using revenues in one and the unappropriated surplus in the other.
Okay.
Two different,
We need. It's
Buckets.
just because we're using two different ones. Okay.
two different sources of being able to reduce the expense. Being able to reduce the expenses, really.
Okay. So I'm going to
I
respond.
mean, where did the 50% come from? Has that always just been carried over?
Probably.
Okay.
Probably. I mean,
But we don't, yeah.
I mean, I can look back at what's. Oh, that's 23. That's too recent.
You know, I don't think that's right.
Right.
That's a huge number, probably. We don't know
It is
yet.
a huge number, and since we are not aware of what it is.
Yeah, I can run a revenue report and we can do, you know, percentages and figure out how much money that is. And we can do 20, 30, 40, whatever, and calculate the percentage we used last year as a baseline. I think we should write Article 3 the same as Article 4, just with revenue. That's up to you guys.
So take out, pay its expenses as authorized by this town meeting and
Yeah.
put in a percentage. And so let me,
To see if the town will vote to authorize the select board to use up to, say, 50% of non-property tax revenues to reduce the tax, for the 2026 tax commitment.
so I'm gonna ask MMA, we would like to specifically use language that allows us to offset taxes as opposed to saying the town will pay its expenses, allowing us to use two separate accounts. Not only the general revenue, but the unappropriated surplus balance.
You can
as Article 4 says. And,
We're reducing the tax commitment using the revenues.
right,
A certain percent.
that percent we don't know yet.
Bill says it's a little bit, you know, flexible if you just use the percent and not the actual amount.
I think we have to.
You have to use the percent, yeah.
Yeah.
Because if it's anything different than the amount, then you have to go to town meeting.
Too many M's in this word. But we don't have a general revenue account, so are you changing that word?
I would use up to, say 50% of non-property tax revenues. Because they're different accounts, they're different sources of revenue.
Of
Non-property tax revenues.
okay,
It could be building permits.
right.
You know,
Reduce the tax rate.
excise tax, building permits, tree growth, all kinds of different stuff. You know, any of the revenues we get from the state. Revenue sharing.
Do we use that non-property tax revenue for anything else?
We would use it to, it's the same thing, reduce the tax commitment, same, you know, or pay for expenses, it's the same thing.
Okay,
Yep. But typically you say reduce the tax commitment.
using non-property tax revenues and use a percentage of that total, whatever it may be.
You know, and the way Baldwin writes it is an estimated amount. It's the same thing as saying up to a certain percent. They're saying to vote to appropriate an estimate of 1.12 million from the following non-property tax revenues to reduce the tax commitment. They're using a certain amount of state revenue sharing, homestead, Betty reimbursements, and these figures are all estimated.
Okay,
It's the same thing as saying, you know,
yeah, that's what that's what we,
estimate up to.
right. Overlay account, Betty reimbursements, homestead reimbursements,
Right, so that's what you're asking to do, be able to use those.
right.
Yep. And you're reducing the expense of the town, paying bills.
Okay,
Same
so
thing.
I'll send that off and I'm sure she'll get right back to me by tomorrow and we can reword it.
Yep.
I'm
Article-
hesitant to put in an amount like a million, and you know, I just really would be hesitant to.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
up to is a lot better, I think. Because we don't know.
Right. So that takes care of 3. 4 we can keep, right? Because that's what we've done.
Yep.
5.
What is, like,
Article 5,
Yeah.
she's asking, or MMA is asking, or saying that we don't. Article 5 is legal, but where are you going to get the money to pay the interest? This article requires, you need an appropriation to pay that money. If you want to continue with this article, I would suggest revising it to remove the interest requirement.
yep, I agree.
Okay.
So what is borrowing? Like, why would you borrow from your reserve account? It's just for the heating system? I mean, the heating system was voted upon, like, this is given the select board authorization to borrow. What situations would you borrow money from a reserve account?
The board can already borrow from a bank in anticipation of taxes without going to town meeting per state statute. This might be a good option if you think you might need to spend the money in the reserve accounts and therefore don't want to borrow from them.
Okay.
Okay, so that's why. Little does she know that we probably can't borrow from a bank because our audits aren't up to date. But that's not a bond. That's not a bond. We probably can borrow.
So take out the,
To see if the town will vote to authorize the select board to borrow from town reserve accounts in anticipation of taxes. Set amount not to exceed, and I'll write it in,
and I would say up to again. I would use that same language.
not to exceed 75%.
I would set amount not to exceed 75% of the town funds.
That's what it says now.
Right.
Yep, and then we're just gonna take out that last section, which I'll do right now.
Oh, that's the attorney's language?
Yep.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yep.
Oh, but then they add to be repaid before. Before what? I'm not sure. I remember having a discussion last year about that thing as well.
Where are you seeing the repay?
It's in the it's in.
Oh, to be repaid before?
Yeah. Yep. I can ask for clarification on what that kind of a time frame is.
But we really wouldn't be taking any money from the reserve accounts unless we went to special town meeting. Right? Like, why would you get into that sort of agreement without going to special town meeting? I mean, 75%, I mean, we have, I think, 1.12 million in the reserve account. 75% of that is really high. I mean, even just doing the heating of 43,000, we went to special town meeting. So,
Right.
I don't even know if we really, why would we even need that article if we were gonna go to special town meeting to ask to borrow it?
This
Is
is
that
an
for like grant money maybe, to borrow
No,
it
I've
and pay
got
it
to put a
back?
whole nother
or-
article in that.
Okay,
Yeah.
I can't see a situation where we would use that. I mean, we're not gonna just withdraw almost all the money out of the reserve account to pay for something
And that's why
and
there was.
borrow it, cause
Right.
how are we gonna pay that back?
Right. And be repaid at a certain
I
time.
mean, we couldn't withdraw 75% and pay it back very quickly.
And how long has that article been in there? For
I don't know.
a long time.
Anytime we wanna withdraw a decent amount of money for a purpose, we go to special town meeting.
Right.
And that's giving the select board a lot of access to a lot of money.
Article 3 does that. Article
Article
3
5?
Article 3 gives, the way it's written now, gives the select board an,
Pay its expenses, the way,
it gives it like unlimited amount of spending.
well, it says the expenses authorized by this town meeting.
Right. It means all the money from town receives from revenues goes into a general revenue account, and the select board has unlimited discretion to use that money for anything. Again, I
To
can't
only-
say.
But to only pay expenses that were approved at town meeting. Article 3.
Right. But I don't know that it's,
You can't
Many towns have an article that lists specific revenues and appropriates it to a purpose. So it says we can spend it as it's very general, as opposed to saying, we're gonna take this amount of money to pay the CEO and this amount of money to pay, like, if I noticed Buxton has separate articles for just about everything.
Yeah.
You know, instead of lumping them in general government, they
Right.
had them very separate.
That's why we went, yeah, I'm hoping we can divide that one article into about
Into those, right?
5 articles. Yeah, I don't really like Article 5. I'm not sure what the reason is behind it.
If you want to continue with this article, I suggest revising it to remove the interest requirement. I think this article is legal. Certainly could lower the percentage.
But what,
So the town
Why
can
would you
borrow
want-
from a bank in anticipation of taxes without going to town meeting. But
I don't think we'd want to borrow any money without going to town meeting. Especially that kind of money.
we don't have to, though. I mean, there's a state statute that allows the town to borrow in anticipation of taxes by going to a bank. That is Title 30, subsection 5771. That might be a good option if you think you might need to spend the money in the reserve accounts and therefore don't want to borrow from them.
In anticipation of taxes. So is that just protecting us if the tax money doesn't get paid?
Mm-hmm. I mean, right now, we're asking to move some money out of reserve accounts for other businesses.
Other expenses.
Yeah. Like road reserve, which we don't have an article in there yet. Have fun at the game.
Thank you. So that's basically.
You know what, I'm gonna ask if that is an article that is, Article 5, I think, let me ask MMA if that is perhaps. Could bend. If we borrow from reserve accounts,
So it just seems like it's
we
just.
normally go to special town meeting, right? If we borrow from reserve accounts, we normally,
I just feel this is, the more I'm looking at it, it's just a protection if, say, nobody paid their taxes and we still
Mhm.
need to operate. The select board could dip into the reserve account and keep the town going until tax money is received.
that's
So-
what it's for.
Okay, well, it's just the way it's worded is.
Um, I'll just say 75% excessive.
I mean, you could even, if she, really recommends putting a repaid before, be repaid before next town meeting,
Mm-hmm,
you know?
mm-hmm. I'm gonna add that to So those were the ones that I had questions about, wording and language. And yours was breaking out the government expenses.
Article 10.
Yeah.
It's just a mixed bag, so.
Professional, payroll, unemployment. So, what did you do? Oh, you handed me those papers, but okay, you still have them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You know, we don't, professional services, that line item includes assessing, attorney, not the attorney, that's way down. Attorneys aren't even listed in Article 10. Audit services, it just seems like big amounts are included, just lumped into professional services. So if we could break that out a little bit, I think it would be good.
I think it's helpful for people to know what's lumped under professional services for sure. And then under employment, it would be like payroll, taxes, unemployment, medical, dental, maybe PERS.
Yep.
And then administrative expenses, would that be broken out into?
I did look at that account, and admin expenses are office supplies, mileage. Let's take a look.
I mean, I think if we leave it as administrative expenses and
Yep.
we know that it's office supplies, postage, mileage.
We can explain that a little bit.
Right. And I think we've done that because I know people have asked.
Training, mileage, dues, fees, office supplies, registry fees, service contracts are lumped in there. And that's TextMyGov and the printers,
Okay. Those are good things to as a side note to list more specifically.
You can put a little more detail. Miscellaneous,
Town utilities encompasses propane,
Yep,
lighting, CMP bills.
that would be utilities, yep. Yep. But,
I like how you broke them out. I think that's
well, I got a few more to do, but,
okay. I think that's helpful.
utilities, municipal building and general maintenance go in the same bucket. I don't know where the mowing is.
That came under miscellaneous.
Yeah, the mowing should kind of be with the town building maintenance, I would
You
imagine.
would think. They came
Yeah,
under
it's-
miscellaneous, and let me see if I can find the number.
Southern Maine planning dues are lumped under general government. That should be Southern Maine planning and Saco River is listed under general government for some reason.
Expenses. Yeah, Article 25. Miscellaneous, mowing, care, veterans' graves, West Day, gravestone repair, cemetery repairs.
Southern Maine planning and Saco River corridor, shouldn't that be under the social services or no?
No. So, especially Saco River, that's not a social service.
So should Southern
That's
Maine,
general government.
So we'll put those with the general government.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you want an explanation of the ministerial account?
What is it for?
Ministerial account was started with a donation from the state.
Okay.
We have to keep the account, and we took all but the original amount out while Ed was there.
So it's just basically gonna just sit.
Mm-hmm. But at least we know now what it is. It's trash day too, isn't it? Not recyclable. Yeah, so the miscellaneous on 25 is to see if the town will vote to raise the following funds to cover miscellaneous expenses could be
Where are
under,
you at?
oh, Article 25.
Oh, yeah. Keep looking at the book, which is,
It, I wouldn't, I mean, you could call it miscellaneous expenses, but I think it could also be under, like you said, building, maintenance, town maintenance.
well, that's just the grade, Article 25 is just the grade part
It's not mowing, mowing and care of veterans' graves,
for cemeteries,
right,
but I'm just looking
but
for,
not the town.
I'm just looking for mowing on, you know, for the town office. The tree out, which is all over the place.
You too. General maintenance, paving and sealing, winter roads, solid waste, I'm looking for mowing. Or does
Well,
that just,
it's-
did it come under?
It's the town office account with cleaning services and phones, and I'm just looking for the article wherever, I don't see
Is it lumped under,
internal government maybe.
yeah, is it lumped
Yeah.
under building, municipal building and general maintenance? No, it can't be, that's only 5,000. Or is it?
Yeah, it's only listed as 5,000. See what it was last year, yes.
I suppose that it could be,
So it was under Article 10. Under utilities, town buildings, but that's also including cleaning services, which is not utilities, so. So I guess it's lumped into utilities, town buildings,
okay,
but that's also,
utilities,
that's mowing and
cleaning,
cleaning.
services, utilities, town maintenance, okay. Because municipal building and general maintenance was 5,000 last year and 5,000 this year.
Utilities to me means phones and electrical,
That's what I think.
yeah.
I think mowing and should come under municipal building and general maintenance.
Yeah, so there's ground maintenance, propane, cleaning services, generator, all that is listed under utilities, so. I think
Utilities
we have to break
slash
that-
town buildings.
Yeah, we gotta break that out a little bit.
I mean, propane is utility,
Right,
and town buildings, what does it mean? Does it just mean utilities for the town buildings? feel like we're nitpicking a little bit.
Well, utilities, town buildings wouldn't include, I mean, that's including cleaning.
Right, so when they say it's dash town buildings, it's like other things that are connected to the town buildings besides utilities.
everything.
Yeah.
Fire alarm monitoring, electricity, cleaning services, phones, fire equipment, ground maintenance, mowing, generator.
That, all of that works for me in terms of utilities and town buildings. It sounds like those are the categories that you would expect to have under that.
Oh, mowing and cleaning services, I don't think are utilities, are they?
Utilities, but I think it can certainly be considered part of, well, I think those would be general maintenance.
So that needs to be a line item then.
Why don't we have municipal building, 5,000, general maintenance would be mowing, cleaning.
Or do we just transfer those amounts over into municipal building and general maintenance?
Definitely could do that.
And then utilities would include the actual utilities. Fire alarm monitoring, video, intercom, electricity, phones, fire safe equipment, that's the propane stove inspections and heat propane and generator, so that would be your utilities.
Would sound right.
Yep, so we'll just move that expense that was put in for mowing and cleaning into the account with the 5,000 in it.
Yes.
Okay.
But are you gonna add those two expenses on top of the 5,000?
Mm.
Okay.
Yep.
We're removing mowing and cleaning and placing under building general maintenance, municipal building / general maintenance. Utilities, okay.
we're gonna keep Harvest Hills Animal Shelter in the same account as Animal Control. Under protection.
What article are you looking at? What number?
I'm looking at Article 11.
Oh, the old one?
Oh, the one that...
Nope. Article 11 says to see if the town will vote to raise, to place in the sidewalk capital
Oh,
reserve.
Article 12, sorry.
Okay. Protection.
So, fire dispatch, streetlights, hydrants, animal control expenses, and Harvest Hills Animal Shelter.
Yes.
Does that include,
David Lonsby's protection of animal issues. Harvest Hills is protection of pets that we need to take up there. It's not quite the same as fire, but I would consider it, I would keep it under that.
why is animal control go $14,000? It was 1,500. Is that including his wages possibly?
I'm sure we've hit that,
Because,
that got changed all around.
Well, he only got paid $4,800 last year. So why are we? I know he wanted some equipment, but
Oh, it's more than equipment. Let me see if I can find what we worked on.
it looks like animal control wages got moved from the regular account to animal control. His wages.
Yeah, I think it was more like he was getting a stipend before, and yes, we have just been awarded the Housing Opportunity Municipal Ordinance Development Grant that I
Oh my gosh.
put in for $8,583.
Good job. Nice job.
Yes, that was quick turnaround.
Wow.
Really quick turnaround.
And what's that going to be used for?
All the development of the new ordinances that have to come our way. The planning board asked for $7,000 as part of our budget, so now that's covered.
Great.
Yeah. All right, that just came in. Yeah, David's, the ACO's payment plan was all changed around.
So
And
his wages are now going to come out of this account? Is that what?
yes.
Okay. Are we going to move taxes and all that like we did for rec?
That's a good question that I don't have an answer for right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we're going to move taxes and for planning board and ZBA into their own account, I think we should do that for everyone if that's the way we're going to handle it. Like ACO taxes should come out of the ACO account, so should the road crews.
CEOs.
CEOs, I mean, if we're going to do it a little bit, we should do it the
Across
same
the board?
across the board.
Yeah.
And not just do it for planning board and ZBA.
Well, let's bring that up on Monday because
Yep.
those are,
That's not consistent.
yeah.
We can't just move some and not.
My only thought is that we're, we have boards that are multiple members. We have one CEO, or two. We have one ACO.
But they're basically office staff like we are.
Yes. Yeah, I think it's a good point to bring up and have a discussion of how we do that so that we're all on the same page about it. Certainly can't make a decision on it now, but
Right now, we pay the road crew out of the road account.
Mhm.
I mean, we can do that for planning board and ZBA, pay their wages out of their account, and the same, now that ACO has moved from the regular wage account to its own account, we can pay David out of his own ACO account, but the taxes can still be paid under the general account instead of break that all up. I mean,
And you're saying that, so you're okay to keep it that way?
I'm okay to keep it that
Okay.
way. I mean, it's,
Let's bring that up on Monday.
yeah.
I know.
it's-
We'll all be here, hopefully.
Yeah. I mentioned that to Bill when he came out, and they pay wages out of, and that's what they do, they pay wages out of their specific accounts, but the payroll taxes get paid under the general admin account, so. He says you can separate it all up to get an absolute idea of what the whole payroll costs, but it's really not necessary.
Mm.
We can if we really wanna get that specific.
It's 4:15, you wanna?
All set
Yeah,
for now?
okay, I think so.
Okay,
Not really, we are definitely not all set, but I think,
we got some time.
yeah. All right, thanks, folks.